Thanks for watching. This clip was from our live show exclusively on odds.com. To watch the full video, hit the link below and get paid in full. Buccaneers, Panthers. Buccaneers, Panthers. Bucks open up at 6.5 at Bet365. That's all the way down to 4.5. This total opens up at 48. It's all the way down. It's moved up to 50.5. This is a tricky spot. Buccaneers 6-3, 3-2 on the road. Carolina Panthers 3-6, 1-3 home. Bucks are coming off a disastrous performance. Sunday night's 38-3 home loss to the Saints. And you guys, this is going to be the last game that we break down here live on YouTube. I'll put the link where we're going right after this. I'll drop it in the chat. But we are moving over to odds.com for the rest of the show. And we really hope that you guys join us. But let's break down this final game. Buccaneers, Panthers. The Bucs were down 31-0 at the half. Brady 22-38 for 209 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Mike Evans led the receivers with 4 catches for 64 yards. Godwin comes back, 3 receptions for 41 yards. He only missed 1 game with a broken finger. Antonio Brown makes his Bucs debut, 3 catches for 31 yards. As a team, they rushed the ball 5 times for 8 yards, and that included Gabbert's kneel down for the final play of the game. The defense entered the game ranked number 1 against the run, 3rd overall. The Saints scored on 5 of their first 6 possessions. It should have been 6 of 6. Jared Cooks fumbled the Bucs too, preventing them from going 6 for 6. Saints finished with 420 yards total, 138 rushing. Backup quarterback Taysom Hill, 54 yards on 7 carries, completed 2 passes for 48 yards. And they're a pretty healthy group. Levante David left the game with a hyperextended knee. He's listed as questionable. And guard Ali Marpet also listed as questionable. I think that the Bucs are going to bounce back. But what does that really mean against the Panthers team that's lost 4 straight and just played so well against the Chiefs? Well, first off, it means that you're going to get a better line than the opening line. Because everybody just saw McCaffrey look spectacular. So it opens up at 6.5, quickly comes to 4.5. That's one thing we are certain of. McCaffrey, 18 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown, caught 10 passes for 82 yards and another score. Dennis Garcia was on Teddy covers. And by the way, while I got destroyed last week, Dennis Garcia had another great week. He was on the Cowboys, and he just called that so brilliantly and so comfortably. The Panthers were 4 for 4 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They are 8 of 9 this year in the red zone getting touchdowns with McCaffrey on the field. They're 10 of 21 without him. This guy is dynamic. Bridgewater, 36 of 49, 310 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions. Curtis Samuel led the receiving corps with 9 catches for 105 yards. Left tackle Russell Okung, calf injury. Safety Jeremy Chin, knee injury. They were both inactive. They remain questionable. And then here's the thing about the Panthers situation with Matt Rule's got to deal with, Bebsy, is McCaffrey's hurt now. And, you know, in all honesty, I see this as but I see this as a lost season for the Panthers. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs. You have McCaffrey out 6 weeks with an ankle injury. Then he comes back, and they said it was a rib injury. It turns out it's a shoulder injury. He's listed as questionable. I mean, maybe this is dumb, but do you even play him on Sunday? Let him get back to healthy. This Panthers team's not going to make the playoffs.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's out. If they haven't ruled him out yet, which
they couldn't have. It wouldn't be 4.5 if they had to rule him out.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can play him. And I don't know, lost season? I mean, this is a team that started the season, in the basement. They had a new coach. They had just lost Luke Kuechly. This team was not expected to do much. They have fought tooth and nail in so many of these games and been impressive. They lost McCaffrey and won their following 2 games.
I don't mean lost season from a development standpoint. I mean from making the playoff standpoint.
Yes and no. I mean that the NFC, that wild card is still the extra wild card is still very much in play. So, Yeah, I think you have to rest McCaffrey. Of course, you don't. The guy's so important. And like I said, losing him allowed them to open up the offense a little more and not focus everything on McCaffrey. And getting him back just means you get that weapon now with your opened up offense. For me, this game is Carolina or no play. And the reason my apprehension towards that is Tom Brady has been awful 2 weeks in a row. I doubt Tom Brady is awful 3 weeks in a row. However, he's been the problem. He was atrocious on Monday night. He was missing guys left, right, and center, sailing passes as he was against the Giants. He got bailed out against the Giants, but he has been looking bad. I'm sorry, Brady lovers, but he's 43 and he's not as good. And yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of people making AB comments on Twitter in the chat right now. I don't know if he's gotten in there and already ruined that locker room. I don't
That's too fast, man.
Too quick. He's been quiet. And Bruce Arians basically said, toe the line or he's gone. So I think he's probably on his best behavior. But I mean, look, even guys who adore Tom Brady, and I know I take shots at him, it's mostly tongue in cheek. He has looked in Texas saying it. Tom Brady looks like a deer in headlights. He looks lost out there. The last 2 weeks he has looked horrendous. But it's Tom Brady. How do you bet against him? He's bounced back from bad performances in the past. So that's why this is a tough spot for me, because everything is screaming bet the Panthers because of just how bad the Bucs have looked. But look, the root of their problem is Tom Brady right now. And if there's anybody who can bounce back and be phenomenal after being trashed for 2 weeks, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree with Jimmy Stain. I agree with Melissa. I think that I agree with Dutch Boy Fresh. I think this is a must-back Buccaneer spot. A must-back Buccaneer spot. And I don't think we should be sitting here sure that McCaffrey's going to be out on Sunday. I think that's a mistake. The market wouldn't be moving to 4.5 if McCaffrey was going to be out. So I don't think we should do that.
I mean, how do you have Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Rob Gronkowski and not be able to hit anybody in the end zone?
Oh, it's just wild. I was off that game, so I wasn't pulling out the belt and needle. But
I was livid at that game because I wanted that over, and the Saints did their part.
Yeah. This to me is a God. I'm still hesitant to put words out of my mouth.
I don't know how you confidently back Tampa with the way Tom has been playing versus the way Bridgewater. If you ask me right now, who would I rather have on my team, Tom Brady or Teddy Bridgewater? It's Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean,
Alex Ramirez, they didn't have a bad night. Tom had an atrocious night.
Look, we know enough about the guy. We know he open mouth kisses his son for 10 seconds and wins Super Bowls.
Way too long.
So I don't know what trumps the other, but I think he's going to win on Sunday. And I think the first half is the play. Even so, I think the first quarter might be the play. I hate first quarter bets because, you need to win the toss. But if, we see a lot of coaches defer. And with the way Tom's playing, if Arians wins the toss, he's going to go for it. Al Cervix says he wears Uggs. Is that facts, Bebsy?
He does wear Uggs. That's a fact.
I'm not gonna. How am I supposed to make the bet if I know that information? Whew. All right.
Yeah, no, Jay-Z, that's what I'm saying is you don't expect Tom to have 3 bad games in a row, ever. That's just it. Tom Brady has been incredible most of his career, and anytime he has a bad game, you really expect him to have a great game the next time. 2 bad games in a row, then yeah. But, I mean, look, the Tom Brady apologists are out in full force here saying the whole team had a bad game. What? Tom put them in that spot by missing his targets by 10 yards. He looked like Nate Peterman on Monday night.
I miss Nathan Peterman. Okay, I'm going to make a move on the Bucs. And I'm going to make a move on the Bucs early. And maybe that's the only move I make. Is just on them early. I hate first quarters. It's just so. I think it's pretty stupid to make a bet where a coin flip has such a big part of it, but it's a -0.5. They got to bounce back here. Okay, I'm gonna move on, and I don't want to. I'm not gonna triple up on this game, and it wouldn't surprise. Maybe you triple up if you're certain McCaffrey's not in lineup. Okay, here are 2 spots I'm moving on. First quarter, first half, and yes, I'll be sweating buckets at the coin toss. I think they come out early, and Antonio Brown is a little more comfortable, and Godwin's a little more comfortable. All right.
Look, my gut says Tom has a better week this week, but with his age, I wonder if he can bounce back and have a better week, but he just looks dejected right now.
Oh, he's not dejected. They're 6-3. He loves it when people are calling him out. Not when they're calling him out about kissing his son and, throwing his child off of a waterfall, but he likes it when they call him out on football. And that's what
he loved it. He looked sour in the post-game press conference.
He's angry. Yeah, he's angry.
He didn't take any ownership for that loss.
Look, that's been a little disturbing. But what do we know about the man? He's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah, and you know what? You should look, if you have the resume Tom Brady does and your ego is still so fragile that you can't own that loss, you put that on your whole team, that's brutal. Be a leader. Be Tom Brady. And
he hasn't really been doing that this year.
Terrible tonight.
It was when he pretended that he knew it was 4th down. That was the spot earlier in the year that bothered me the most, and not this past spot. I mean, okay,
that's another thing. That's like, own it, man. Own your failures. You've had enough successes that you got to be able to own your failures.
Look, I agree, but I think this is a great spot to back them, even if McCaffrey's in. I can't triple up at this point, but I would like to take them early. First quarter, first half, and I'd also be interested in team totals. And I know we can't spend too long on this early, and we're not even halfway through the games yet, but let's just quickly go back to the full game total here. This full game total is at 50.5, and I think this goes over. What do you think of this total here?
Yeah, that screams over. However, so did Monday night. Monday night should have been an over, but the Bucs didn't do their part.
The difference in that spot, and I'm not saying that, like, I can understand, and I forget how Dennis worded it. Dennis worded it perfectly. It could go over by accident, kind of. I think that's what he said. But in that New Orleans Tampa game, that total opened up at 54, and it went all the way down to 50 at one point. So there was some idea. This is different. This total is opened up at 48.5, moved up to 50.5. I think the betting public is making this a little different. And as much as we want to fade the public, that's what was happening there was the very sharp bettors were coming in and betting the under and succeeding because of it, knowing that the public was going to be on the over, and that's why that total dropped so low. It dropped to a point where they knew gamblers were going to be all over it, and that's how the books are, winning, year after year. I mean, it helps getting the juice. Okay, I think the over is in play, but in saying that, I don't see why I wouldn't just forget about the Panthers and only take the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers team total is at 27.5. And remember, the only thing that the Bucs do well defensive, I should say but they stop the run. Okay, so Buccaneers first quarter, first half, team total over 27.5 is for me right now. All right, Bebsy, no move for you.
No, sir. Slow out the gates this week.
Okay, let's talk about 1 p.m. best bets right now, and obviously we're gun shy after what happened last week. Bebsy, you are on the Browns -3 at -115 at MGM, and that's your only spot on the card so far. So that's your best bet.
It kind of has to be, doesn't it?
And then I think the Buccaneers first half, but I do really like that Jaguars team total. I think the Buccaneers first half, what's that right now? -3 is the spot. Okay, so Mr. Funmonks says Carolina played solid without McCaffrey all year. They did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of a blessing in disguise in that it opened up that offense a bit.